When you get to the point of wanting to change your physics asset for avatar creation Helios, so that your ragdoll looks a little more natural than a puddle, you will have to edit your physics asset. What the physics asset is basically a basic representation of your character for the physics engine. And remember that term basic. This doesn't need to have every single bone with a capsule or shape assigned to it. It's merely a general outline of the character's major bones. If your character is smaller than Unreal Standard mannequin size, then you'll want to regenerate the bodies here under the tools panel, just to give you the first general outline of each of the bones. So it depends on your size of your character here, but you want to change the minimum bone size. So drop it down to 10, you can click generate all bodies. 20 is typically fine for a mannequin sized character. So the basic outline of what you're going to want to do with this is essentially scale each of these bodies to fit the general outline of your character. You can also add in other shapes such as boxes or spheres, just to suit your character a little more. So for instance, with this head, I might want this to be more of a box than a capsule like this. So if I click on the head body up here, go right click, add shape, box, I can delete the capsule. And when working inside the physics animation asset, you can press W, E, or R to move, rotate, or scale the bodies. So I will scale this up to suit my character's head. You can also copy the properties of one body to another. So if I want this upper arm here to be a similar shape to the lower arm, I can scale my upper arm to suit how I want. And then right click on the body, go to copy properties, click on the other bone, right click, go to paste properties. And that applies for the other side of the character as well. Except you may have to move it back down to the arm when you're pasting it on the opposite side of the character. Now for the hands, I'm also going to replace these with a box rather than a capsule. So again, I can right click on the hand, go add shape box, and just delete the other capsule out. And adjust the box to shape. So with those general tools and techniques in mind, I'm just going to go through and do the same for all the bodies on this character. Now that I have the shape of all the bodies in place, I can talk about the joints. So if we go and look at one of the joints here, so notice they are composed of one red cylinder, or one red cone, and a green one. If we look at the angular limits on one of the joints here, we can see the twist limit controls this green one, swing limit 1, and swing limit 2. So the general idea for these is you're going to want to set up this limit to conform to the type of joint that you've got. So say for an elbow, your elbow moves in and out, but it doesn't really twist around and swing a lot. So I'm just going to drop this limit right down and bring this limit up. And I'm going to rotate this joint here as well, so that our elbow can't bend backwards like this way. Similar with the upper arm joint, I don't want it to twist around too much, so I'll use a lower limit on these. Now that we've done our bodies and joints, we can talk about the intercollision of the bodies. So when you select a body here, you notice all the other ones get grayed out. But if you select another one by control and clicking, then you get this option up here to enable collision. Once you've enabled that, then only the bodies that you have selected and the bodies that are will collide with them will show up in purple. So typically no other body on the mesh collides with anything else unless you enable that collision between them. So for instance, I might not want my hand to be able to go through my leg, so I can select my hand here and click enable collision between those two. Just note when doing this though, if you select multiple bodies like this and then click enable collision, all these will be intercolliding with each other and your character is going to go funky. So you only want to have selected the bodies that you actually want collision between each other. If you want to be able to adjust the mass of your bodies, you can also select them in the physics tab here. You can change the mass in kilograms to what you want. And you also have the linear and angular damping. So the linear dampening is basically how much dampening forward and back or resistance it has that it will gradually slow down. And same with the angular, except it's applied in rotations. So this will make your objects slow down faster. And with all that, you should now be able to go off and create the physics for your own character.